All right, we all know college is not cheap, and it just got a little bit more expensive. Interest rates on federal loans went up 1%. Does that sound like a small number? It adds up over time. Mark Henry with Alloy Wealth Management is here this morning to talk us through it all. I know people hear 1% and they're like, it's not so bad. It's so bad.
So bad. It is so bad. It's just staggering.
Yeah.
And the cost of the college has gone up more than 1%.
Yep.
So let's take that into consideration as well as the high interest rates.
Yeah, when I was on my vacation, we were with a group of people, and one of the girls, it was like this unbelievable, in medical school, but unbelievable amount of money every year. And I just was stunned because my little state college tuition years ago was certainly nowhere near that. I mean, the cost of college is staggering.
It's unbelievable. And it's so hard on the young people.
Yeah, so let's kind of talk through this. How much more is it going to cost to take out student loans this year?
A lot.
Yeah.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
The average, when you start looking at these numbers and stuff, and we see these rates now on a public school, on a regular 4-year tuition, we're now high in the sixes. And that's a lot because it's not even, you say, well, Mark, my car loan was 7.5. Yeah, but that's a short-term loan. These student loans, people are paying on these average 10 years, many much longer than that.
Yeah, so that adds up
Oh my gosh, it's
much.
a huge amount.
And when you think about your house, right? And then you compare that to your student loan.
Correct.
Unbelievable.
But your house is an asset. Not that a student loan is an asset.
But not in the same way.
Not in the same way.
You can't sell back
There's
your
no
student
equity.
loan.
There's no
Good
equity.
job. Exactly. Okay, so I think so often people are, I'll just get a loan. I'll just get a student loan. This is a very serious decision. So what do people have to consider, whether it's the student or the parent?
I think both have to come together, the student and the parent, if there's one there to help them. But I want you to think of it this way. You decided you want this new car. You're out of school, you go buy a new car. So you show up at the dealer, and the dealer says, okay, which one do you want? You pick to it, and they say, great. And you say, well, how much is it going to cost? Don't worry about it. Just take it. Come see us in 5 years. When you get done in 5 years, come see us in 4 years. In 4 years, we'll tell you how much you owe and what your payment is. That sounds ludicrous.
Yes.
But that's exactly how student loans work for most people. They never look at the repayment. They just want the money. They know how much they owe, but they don't look at what it's going to cost. So before you ever sign on the dotted line, how much will this payment cost you? Now, again, the student loan rates coming from the government are fixed. But if you get one at, say, 6.5%, it's fixed. It means you can pay that for a very long time. Well, what's the repayment plan? We have to look at what the apartment's going to cost, what food's going to cost when we graduate, all these together, and then add the student loan payment in and see if it's even worth it.
You got to think about your repayment options too, right?
Absolutely. And here's the thing, the average person in student loan debt, it's now come up to $40,000. This is a serious amount. Unfortunately, people are getting degrees they've paid massive debt for, but they're finding the degree doesn't pay what they need to pay to even make the ends meet, plus the student loan. These are all discussions we need to have first. When I get out of school, what will this job pay? What's the average pay going to be? Then break it down after taxes into how much you're going to need for the apartment, for the food, for this, and for the debt you took on to get the degree.
I mean, it's a lot to think about, and a lot of people don't think about that. So you said the average borrower has about $40,000. What about, before you go into that process? You said you really got to think about these things. How do you avoid taking on
There's
too
some
much?
great ways. I am a huge proponent of community college. This is one of the best things you can do. Now, obviously, scholarships, those are great because those are typically not always academic based. They just have to apply, and so many go unused every year. For the juniors and seniors, start applying this year. Apply for even the aggregate, all of them. Apply for all of them. You may get one just by default because nobody applied. So get all the scholarships you can. Then think about community colleges. They're so inexpensive in comparison. And guess what? You say, Mark, you don't understand. I've got to graduate from my dad's alma mater. I've got to do. You will.
Can.
You still will. Go for 2 years to the community college, and you just cut your student loan debt in half.
Yeah.
This makes so much sense. And if you do well in the community college,
Yeah.
the schools want you. You may now pick up scholarships to help you pay for those last 2 years.
It really is the smartest, really, truly, for so many of these big schools,
Right.
the smartest way to do it. Let's put Mark's information up on the screen because I want you to be able to get all of the information that you need from him. You know, sometimes just talking with a financial professional is just exactly what you need to help you through. Mark, good to see you. Thank
Good to
you.
see you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Jorge, back to you.